Hey, Brian from Garage Mahal. Today we have a 2007 Ford Escape, and as you can tell, I have my lights set up back here because the rear, you can see the rear shocks are totally, they're destroyed. They're totally gone. So we are going to go through. We're going to put Monroe 33 187s in this, and you have to take all this stuff apart. It looks a little daunting, but it's not bad. So you need a little body, I guess, spoon, tool, whatever you want to call them. And usually it's got kind of a grip here. And then we're basically going to be going through and just snapping up on these trim pieces. And this one should just come up like that. And just make sure that all the pieces are there. So that's pretty easy. We'll just put that off to the side here. Now, these little compartment doors, I'm going to take them off because they're going to fall off. I think this one's probably locked in there pretty good. So we'll put that one back here. And then you are basically just pulling this trim piece out. Get your hand in behind that. Come out relatively easy. Let me crawl inside here and get this other piece. Okay. Alright, so that last piece is giving me a little bit of a problem, but we can leave that up like that. Same thing, we'll just I think we can get that far enough out of the way. We should be okay. Let me see if I can prop something up in there. Alright, so we got that enough out of the way. We'll just put a little piece of 2x4 up here. Hold it out if you got a clamp or, anything. Just so you can get to that bolt on the other side. And then the same problem here. And again, there's customer's car, there's a bunch of stuff in the front. So we're just going to kind of like push this up and out of the way. And we can get easy enough access to that shock. All right, so it is a 15 millimeter knot on the other side, so we are basically just gonna spin that off. All right, get that side loose. Go for this side. That one spins off completely. Put that there. And you got a little bit of a rubber bushing there, but that should pull out when I raise the vehicle up. And this one, there we go. A little more TLC to get that one off. Alright, so those two bolts are free. So what we are going to do is we're going to raise the vehicle up so we can get to our shocks. We'll take these out. Alright, let's raise it up. So looking underneath, you can tell why we have to replace that. That is just falling apart. This one is on the cusp of falling apart. So let's get these larger nuts off. All right, so you want to make sure that you spray all this down so it comes apart pretty easy. And ideally soak overnight, but it is what it is. All right, so this is a 24 millimeter. So a lot of kids don't have that, so make sure you are aware of that. And we are going to use our extension bar on this. Now it's got a locking tab on the back, so you may actually just want to kind of rest your thumb on it to put some pressure. Just about done. My light keeps going out on me. So you want to save this washer. And then you can pull this whole strut shock right out. That's all right, so I had some lighting problems. I switched that. So that is your locking bolt. It's right there. So let's get our first shock out. So it comes with your hardware kit to go on top with. And let's see if we can't get this kind of in position. All right, so it's got this little piece that you cut off after you get it kind of situated. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be resting it on here, and then we're going to snip that piece off and kind of let it go into its spot. So I always like to leave the kind of the divot point on the inside, and then we have the nut and bolt. Our washer, so that stays flush, and we'll just put it hand tight for now. All right, and then we'll cut this piece, and then we'll aim for that hole, and we'll aim that up there. We'll snip this with a little clipper. Work his way up into that hole. So on top, we are going to put this and that little rubber gasket seal. And then we'll have it shoot up into that hole. Then once we put some tension on that, that will come back down. We'll clip this off here. All right, so that's a retainer. Throw that out in the garbage. we're going to keep this loose until we get it mounted up in there. So let's get this one out. This one comes out pretty easy. That is pretty well shot. Get a new shock out. Alright, so again, I'm going back and get this somewhat mounted in here. Just hand tighten it for now. Then we're going to mount this and that piece in there. And same thing, we're going to aim for that hole. We'll get our clipper. Clip this. All right. Clip that off. Then we'll pull that, and then just kind of aim for that hole. Off the bottom, and then this is garbage. So I'll tighten this down a little bit more so it kind of sits up in that hole just on the edge. So what we do is, as we lower it, we're gonna have to move it over a little bit. So let's lower that down. Alright, now if you have a jack, you're going to have to do this a little bit strategically. Alright, so that moved in no problem. Let's make sure that this other side is going to be lined up good. Alright, so we're good. So we can lower it down more. Then we'll be able to put the caps on it. We're just going to lower it down just a little bit and just make sure that we're still lined up nice and good. We're good there. And we're good there. Nice and centered. Okay. Good, good, good. And we're going to actually spray this down with a little WD. Kind of a rust inhibitor because I see some rust in there. Alright, we're going to lower it down more. So we're not quite down all the way, but we're going to make sure that we have that nice and locked in place. That's good. Right, so we're going to get our top kit here. Basically, our rubber washer, and then our nut goes down on top. And the same thing on this side. That's good there. So let's just tighten this down by hand and get it torqued down pretty good. Alright, so we'll just use this until it torques down. Alright, then what we'll do is we'll torque it. Torque that down so the sandwich is in nice and good. Torque it down to spec. And we're good there. Okay, then all this garbage trim tool comes back out. All right. And let's we're basically done here, so let's open that up. Then get back into the seatbelt part. Then that all sits back in place. Okay. Your back trim seal basically sits like that. Put your back door back together again. Alright. You are good to go. Let's raise it up and we'll tighten it down. Torque this nice and tight. Torque it to spec. Okay, so we're torqued there. Just check clearance of everything. Everything looks good. And it does run really tight on that body, but nice and tight down there at the bottom, and then you're good. Anyway, Brian from Garage Mahal, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.